Wife cheated on me 2 months ago. Went out drinking with her friends, happens rarely, despite asking her several times to stay home with me that night and spend time with our 2-year-old son. Apparently at the bar this dude bought her several drinks and she got drunk as hell, which was extremely atypical of her. Her friends had a bad feeling about this and tried to bring her home, but she insisted she would take a cab and her friends eventually left her alone with the guy. Well, as it turns out, she went home with him. The whole time I was blowing up her phone, dozens of texts and calls, and I kept asking her friends where she was, but I got no answer from them. I had never been so worried in my life, holy fuck. Then she comes back at 3 a.m. reeking of alcohol and covered in tears. She confessed to everything right at the fucking door, every single detail. She didn't even know this asshole's name yet liked him enough to go to his house and fuck him on his bed. She said as soon as her head cleared up she broke down in tears over what she just did and took a cab home. Now me, I was fucking enraged but didn't want to say or do anything since I knew I would probably go to jail if I did. I calmly told her to shower and go to sleep, then I took off my wedding ring and got the fuck out of the house, just went around driving for a bit, screaming in the car, etc. Meanwhile she's blowing up my phone with tons of messages and voicemails apologizing and begging me to come back. I come back a few hours later and she's awake, still sobbing and mumbling. I asked her what we would do now and she swore to do anything and everything to regain my trust. I was of mind to divorce immediately, but I loved my wife and connected with her more strongly than with anyone else. I didn't forgive her yet but gave her a chance to try. She was ecstatic but still in tears, saying she doesn't deserve it but will make the most of it. And I guess she's been true to her word. She doesn't go out to bars anymore without me, she gave me complete access to all of her stuff, she only drinks when I'm there, and she has been giving 200% to please me, cooking all my favorite meals, buying me tons of gifts, continuously apologizing, doing more housework to give me more free time, even writing poems asking for my forgiveness. She even confessed what she had done to her friends, who have been avoiding her more and more out of disgust for what she did to me. She also told her parents what she did on her own accord, and explained that she was raised better than that and is trying to save her marriage. Not once did she try to blame the cheating on me or remove any responsibility from herself. She didn't try to justify or rationalize what she had done because she knew there was nothing bad about our relationship she could go off of. She accepted full blame and owned up to her actions. She said she's willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to save our marriage. She still cries from time to time out of remorse, like before bed, during showers, sometimes just while cooking. This sounds like the perfect post-cheating course of action, I know. She is doing everything flawlessly. Despite this, I just can't get the image out of my head. Every time she tries to be intimate I think of her and him, clam up and then push her away, not violently. Since that night we haven't so much as hugged. She has tried to kiss me before but like usual I just distance myself. I've been sleeping in the guest bedroom while she begs me to come to her and then cries herself to sleep every night. I know that she's truly and genuinely sorry, that her remorse is real. These aren't crocodile tears that most cheaters cry when they get caught. She did everything right. She confessed to me immediately, changed her habits, and did everything I asked. She sometimes asks me if I've forgiven her yet and I always say not yet. I mentioned possibly divorcing to her a few weeks ago and she broke down, saying she will never love another man, will never allow another man to raise our child, that I mean everything to her and her whole world would just shatter into pieces if she lost me. I think out of all the people who have ever cheated and want to regain the trust of their partner, my wife has done the best. Despite this, I just can't forget about she did. I wake up in the morning and the first thing I think of is her in his bed with him. I have trouble sleeping now since the thought of them having sex keeps me up. I feel nauseous and numb all the time. The singular thought some other guy fuck my wife is stuck in my mind all day. I don't want this to keep happening but I can't find any way to strike it from my mind. Every so often I feel like unleashing all my anger on her, calling her all the names in the book, telling her I hate her. Lately I find myself on a local pier, just staring out into the ocean for hours at a time. I go there to just stop thinking about what she did and escape for a while. Then when I go home the misery starts again. I don't know if I love my wife anymore. At times I feel such a strong hatred for her that I almost vomit knowing that I married her. Sometimes I see her as she was before the cheating and in those moments I can love her again. They don't last longer than a few seconds though. I feel like I'm the bad guy for wanting a divorce. She has been doing everything correctly since the infidelity so I should forgive her, right? That's what most people would probably do, I guess, but I can't stop thinking about her and the other guy. I know that as long as I keep thinking about them, this marriage won't last. Our anniversary is in 9 days, this keeps triggering memories of our relationship, the wedding, the birth of our son, trips we took, happy days, etc. Now it just hurts, a really heavy pain in my chest and throat to think of them. We've been together since high school, fully committed and faithful. I just can't grasp how she could do this to me, how she could make a series of bad decisions, one after the other, to end up cheating. My mouth feels dry whenever I think of how that night must have gone. How she must have kissed him, walked into his home, to his bedroom, laid down on his bed, took off her clothes, whatever. A lot of the time I feel like killing myself or killing her or killing the other guy. I fantasize about cheating on her to make things even. Sometimes I imagine just hitting her over and over, but I would never do that. I never laid a finger on my wife. I don't hurt people. I've never had violent or angry thoughts like this before. My wife's adultery fucked with my head more than should be possible. I don't feel like the same person anymore. I feel hollow all the time. I'm here to ask, is there any way I can bring myself to forgive her? Or should I just divorce her and move on, find a woman who won't cheat on me? I want my son to grow up with the belief that cheating is totally unacceptable. I feel like if I stay with my wife, my son will learn that it's okay to forgive cheating, and I don't want him to ever stay with a woman who cheated on him. At the same time, I keep living every day hoping I might have an epiphany, that I can truly forgive her and love her again. Seems like a hopeless fantasy though. Please help me. I don't know what to do. I'm sick of feeling sick. Small update, I figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to her about possibly making it even somehow. I'll see what she says, and depending on her response I might try to reconcile or divorce without a second thought. Also, I'm going to ask her for the full truth about this guy. I find it weird that she remembers he's divorced 33 and not in shape but can't remember his name. Never mind, this is a bad idea. This was my vengeful side talking. I'm not going to try and make it even. I'm just going to get the full truth out of her and then steel myself to suggest divorce. Yes, I want her to suffer for what she did. As one user said in a PM, she will suffer most if I leave her. In her own words, she said that would destroy her. But I'm not divorcing her just to spite her, no. I'm doing it because I don't want to remain in a ruined marriage. I'm doing it because she betrayed me and I'm not willing to be a doormat and excuse her behavior. I probably won't change my mind, but I'll come back with an update later anyway. Update, meant to write this yesterday but didn't get around to it. I thought long and hard about what to do after reading all the responses and PMs, one of which said I deserved to be cheated on, and even had a phone conversation with another Redditor who was kind enough to lend me his time. I confronted her for the full truth yesterday. Same old stuff, her crying and apologizing and begging for forgiveness. She didn't remember his name since it didn't come up after their introduction, and she said the reason she kept talking to him was because he was practically drooling over her beauty and she took pity on him for being recently divorced, losing his house, custody, money, etc. So basically my wife tried to comfort him and got her ego stroked at the same time, then fucked him. Her phone was on silent the whole time, very unusual of her, but she wanted to hang out with her friends undisturbed. I suppose calls from her husband were considered disruptions that evening. The fact that she gave him what I interpreted as a pity fuck made me lose the little respect I had left for her. She swore on her life that she would do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to regain my trust and save our marriage. I asked her what lengths she was willing to go to and she said if what it takes is me having sex with another woman right in front of her, then she would go for it. If it took having a half-open relationship on my end, then she would do it. If it took her admitting to our son, when he's an adult, what she did, she would do it. She said she would do whatever it takes. I'll admit, I was surprised and touched by this. In that moment I understood that my wife was truly remorseful and loved me beyond measure. I saw that her apology, her efforts, everything she had done was genuine. I believed that she would certainly erase her crime if she could. I loved my wife. Then I remembered that many people go through life without ever cheating on their partner. That there are women who would never put themselves in such a situation that could lead to cheating. For the 12 years of our relationship, I have not strayed once, despite having several opportunities to do so. And I know that I deserve a woman who won't betray me. My wife did all she could to try and atone for her infidelity, but once something is broken you can't restore it to what it once was. I'd rather be unmarried than stay in a once broken, repaired marriage. Even if I took her back, the marriage would never be the same again and I'm not going to torture myself with such a life. I don't want to constantly be in paranoia, wondering if my wife truly is at the grocery store, if she is actually working late or hurting me again. I told her I wanted a divorce and she broke. I explained to her why despite her pleading. She got on her knees and begged at my feet, saying that she would rather die than be without me. I told her that actions have consequences and I will never forgive her for cheating. She kept crying and I told her to move back in with her parents for the time being. I said I would take care of our son but she's allowed to visit him anytime. She kept crying and begging but I was firm on this. She's moving out in 2 days. I plan to meet with a divorce lawyer soon and get the ball rolling. I'm not sure if time away from my wife will change my feelings but I strongly doubt it. She made her bed, now she can lie in it. I guess that's it. I'm going to divorce her and hopefully get my life back together. I know it's still too early to think about these things, but I've already decided to remain on civil but minimal terms with my wife when we are divorced. Never will I entertain the idea of reconciling with her, but I will be polite in our future interactions solely for my son's sake. For the next few months that we're apart, I'm going to make the most of it. I will focus first and foremost on my son. I will periodically check in with my wife's family to see how she is doing. I won't go out and mingle with new women until I'm divorced. I will spend more time at the gym to let out my anger. I will focus my free time on my hobbies, playing the piano and painting, also as a way to let out my emotions. I won't update anymore. Thanks to all who gave advice and tried to help me make the right decision. I'm confident in what I'm doing and I pray things work out for me. Now on to the next story. Story 2. I'll try to keep this short because I'm planning to go to a bar soon. I found out when she was about 6 months along. The guy, Brian, approached me at my work. "Are you Sarah's boyfriend?" I said yeah and asked what he wanted. He said he was sorry that he had slept with her and swore he didn't know that she was with someone. I don't believe that. He then pulled out his phone to show the texts between them. They had been sleeping together or linking up for at least a year. Then she found out she was pregnant and they came to an agreement to just pretend the baby was mine. In return, she wouldn't lose her perfect life and he wouldn't be responsible for a baby. I knew it was weird. We had been having problems trying for a baby and all of a sudden she got pregnant so easily. But he explained that he had been thinking about it and he recently became a Christian. He said that he couldn't live his life knowing that I was living a lie while his child didn't know their real father. So yeah. I told him I'd keep in touch, and to not say that he said anything just yet. I've had a lot of time to think but ultimately I decided to wait until she gave birth. To hurt her in her most vulnerable moment. I'll spare the details, but she went into labor, baby was born, and was taken to the NICU to be monitored for a bit. What should have been a beautiful moment of me holding my baby, was the most heartbreaking time of my life. Just knowing he was not mine hurt me. Once she was sewn up and comfortable I started packing up my stuff to leave. She asked where I was going and I just told her. I know I'm not baby's name's father. You can act all shocked but I know. Just ask Brian to come, I'm positive he'll sign the birth certificate. Then I left. She's been calling my phone over and over, even sending texts as I type this, and has even gotten her sister to call me a few times. It was hard pretending these last few months but I think I'm satisfied. I feel really heartbroken though. I was planning to propose to her on the day our baby was born. I was gonna make her the happiest woman ever. Oh well. I'm going to go get shit-faced now. Small update, head hurts, but I'm home and safe. I'll clear up a few things. Brian is going to be in the baby's life if it's his. I don't care what anyone says, I'm sure the kid isn't mine. I'll go get tested but me and Brian have been in contact since last night and there isn't a doubt in my mind. For those of you calling me a psychopath or whatever, I don't really care. You'll all forget about this post in a day anyway, while I'll have to live with this shit for the rest of my life. What I did wasn't amazing but I don't care. All I ever did was treat her amazing and this is how she pays me back. If you think this is fake, go read something else. Doesn't matter to me. Update 1. My girlfriend just gave birth to our first child. I know I'm not the biological father and I revealed I knew as soon as she gave birth. Hi everyone. I just wanted to start by saying I would have updated sooner but it takes a bit to get test results back. I've also been working on myself in the time being. Thanks for all the support. I'll cut to the chase. I am not the father. But I already knew that already deep down. Brian and the baby are a match so that pretty much answers that question. He's very excited to be a dad, even despite the circumstances. We've kept in touch this whole time and he's actually a really great guy. Goes to church now, volunteers at shelters, etc. I'm not sure if we'll continue to stay in touch after this but I wouldn't mind getting a drink with him every once in a while. I hope the kid does great in life. He should with Brian as his dad. As for Sarah, around the time I posted she had asked Brian to be with her officially since there was nothing to hide. As far as I know he has not taken her up on that offer and just wants to co-parent for the sake of being in his kid's life. I think that's very smart of him honestly. Me and her have talked as well. We talked about where it all went wrong. She felt as though I wasn't there for her fully and just felt unfulfilled. Which I understand. I wasn't always the best guy but I treated her the best I could. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. She started crying and I did give her a hug but I made sure she knew it wasn't cause I cared about her. She's offered to stay friends and for me to visit if I want but I declined. I'm not really interested in keeping up with her and her kid but I did give her the stuffed animal I was planning to give our kid someday as a gift. She's been staying with her mom, and has fully moved out her stuff. She asked me to keep her number but I blocked her the same day she finished moving out. So it's just me now. I'm not gonna lie, my heart has been super heavy. But I think I'll be okay. There's a cute girl at my work and we've been talking. She's a single mom and has been awesome so far. I explained that I wanted to go slow cause of my recent breakup and she understands. We've hooked up once or twice, nothing serious yet. I just want to be by myself for now but I'll likely give her a shot when I'm ready. That's it for now. I'm depressed, but I'm working out now at least. I never want to talk to Sarah and will likely never see her again. It sucks cause she was such a big part of my life but that's gone now. Thanks for all the support. I'll answer questions if you guys have more. Edit. Just wanted to mention that I still don't feel bad about what I did. I can tell she's still hurting, but I definitely think it's deserved still. Update 2. I'm the guy who waited until his partner gave birth before telling her I knew the baby wasn't mine. Here's how my life is going. I keep getting DMs asking me to update so here's one. Been roughly 8 months. Check profile for original story. No I don't talk to Sarah. Screw Sarah. Haven't seen her. Last I heard, she moved to 3 hours away with her mom to be closer to some family. I kept seeing her around town a lot, so I'm beyond grateful she's gone. She would attempt to have conversations with me sometimes in the first month after she gave birth, but that soon stopped. As for Brian, we text occasionally. And we did go out for that beer. He overall seems happy to be a father, but we don't talk about Sarah. I don't keep up much with him anyways. We're both hard-working men with jobs, kids, and lives to live, so it's kinda hard to keep up. I don't think they're together at all, but who knows. Speaking of kids, the woman who was a single mom that I started seeing? We're still together. Her kid is awesome and I love being her stepdad tbh. So a big middle finger to those who told me to stop talking to her or that it wasn't gonna work. It may seem like we moved fast, but, at this point, I don't care. I've never loved anyone more. We communicate properly, hardly fight, just so much fun. I initially was gonna cut all contact with her after falling off into a bad drinking habit, but she really kept me grounded. I didn't meet my stepdaughter for a while, but when I did, I knew I couldn't leave. Being a part of this little family has healed me in ways I literally can't fathom. And before anyone says I just used them to deal with the trauma of not having my own kid, that couldn't be farther from the truth. I'm in therapy, I got my shit together, and most days I don't even think about my ex. Hell, I even forgot about this damn account. Words cannot describe how much my life has picked up. Thank you Reddit strangers for being there in the darkest time in my life. Honestly, it helped. Hoping to propose to my girlfriend sometime in the future. That's it. Bye.